Hey everyone, hopefully you're having a good day, and if you're having a good day, you're probably a uranium investor. We're going to do our daily technical analysis update of uranium. And, since it's uranium, we're not blasting to the moon. We're going to blast to Uranus, right? Uranium, Uranus, whatever. So I'll go through this. I'll give you my financial opinion. Please don't use it as advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy who really loves investing. And I like trading too. I don't really do too much trading anymore. I used to do lots of trading, but lots of really good opportunities in front of us in this commodity bull market. Uranium is an excellent opportunity here. It is taking off. It looks really good. So I'll get into the charts here. Again, it's just my financial opinion. Here we go. This is the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust. Now, I'm not in the camp that we have to have this big Sprott Physical Uranium New York Stock Exchange listings and all this other stuff for uranium to go higher. I think uranium is going to go higher no matter what, because people are going to realize that we have to run nuclear power plants. If we have a large energy shortage, we're going to have to get into more uranium, especially if they're flicking back on their nuclear power plants, either from mineral shortages or from energy shortages of not just energy itself, but the feedstock, natural gas, coal, whatever it is. So I think this is going higher, irrespective of who does what. But the Sprott Physical Uranium Trust, this is going higher, closed strong, looks really good. Buyer stepped in here, said, you know what, we're bringing this higher. That's exactly what they did. Looks good. URNM, another one that looks good. It's breaking above these highs here. I really like how it closed. I wish it closed a little bit more higher. If you want to know, like all the little intricacies, if I could choose, I wish it ended right at its top, but it still looks really good. It looks like it wants to go up. Definitely. Bannerman opened higher, closed a little bit lower. That's why it's a red candlestick. It still has good momentum to the upside. Bullish engulfing here, bullish engulfing here. These things are adding up. I think it wants to go higher. Little Govy. Should we yell at Govy or should we be nice to it? I don't know what it needs, but we're right there at the support line. It did go up today. Yep, it did, 5%. It looks good for a move higher. This is a retest move. I like it. Global Atomic. Go global. This thing looks fantastic, guys. What it's doing is it's broken basically almost to all-time highs. It broke out of its little bit of resistance all through here. And now we're making headway through this resistance. So we'll see how many sellers are up here and how the buyers and sellers are interacting with each other. Right now, it looks really strong. May the forces be with all of us. I had to add this to the portfolio in that circle down there. I bought a good amount. I up my stake in it. This thing looks good. We got a little bit of wick at the top, but if uranium continues higher, I think this looks fine to continue higher with it. Pier Point basically hitting some resistance all through here, getting a little bit of the resistance going on. Still fighting its way. Still has a fight. Deep Yellow, it's also got a fight, but this one looks good. It opened low and was bought back up throughout the day. Momentum is to the upside, and I like it. It's probably going to go higher. Paladin Energy, we are consolidating here. What would I do here? Yeah, I know what I would do. I'd get a little Paladin in my pockets. That's what I would do. But it looks good. We still haven't broken out yet. It will break out if the sector continues higher. Sky Harbor, it's struggling. We're trying to break through all this. There's still sellers out there. That's what I have in here. This is the big selling band. Every time we get above it, we sell off, sell off, sell off. And then I put it at the top of these guys, some resistance support. So support at the bottom, resistance at the top. We're trying to sit on top of this to get a jump higher. That was Sky Harbor. Canalaska Uranium, moving higher, big bullish engulfing. Looks good to move on higher. Nice, good bullish picture there. NEX, NXE, not NEX, NXE, Next Gen Energy. Still looking okay, looks good. We got some buyers there. Not as strong as some of the other ones, but I'm kind of seeing this guy here. I'll draw it in here. Come on, stop correcting me, auto-correcting me. But that's what I see, this like kind of barrel pattern going on, and hopefully we can get moving, break all this. Going to base load up 8.28%. Looking good, nice, good, solid support down here. We've got the break. It's going to go on higher, I think. We'll probably retest $1 shortly. Fission 3.0. Small down days, big up days. Looks decent. I think we could potentially continue higher. Looks good. Fission Uranium Corporation, right at this support line. There we go. We're at support line there from the log. Rhythmic view. This still looks okay. Everything looks okay. CCJ working out okay. Up day to day, coming into some resistance, little wick at the top. Kazatomprom. This was one that I said, this looks like a bottom here. Up day and then a nice big launch higher. Looks G-O-O-D. Looks good to continue on up. Peninsula Energy finding support right where it's at. Yeah, it's a small down day. A little bit of a opening and closing lower momentum to the downside, but I bet you we'll find support right underneath it. Boss Energy getting a little bit of sell-off today too, but we've got support all underneath it. Consolidated Uranium looks good from a long-term perspective. Looks good here. I like it on sitting on top of patterns like this, guys. That's what it looks like on the big long-term. I like it over here. It looks really good. That's what I think. Lotus Resources, zooming in on in, up day to day, a little bit of momentum coming down. Kind of a small day. Its momentum is neutral-ish. Me Roy, you Roy, we're all Roy. We want some new Roy. And it's looking good. Nice little up day there. It just looks, I mean, it looks to me, if I were to, let me draw it in. There we go. My awesome drawing skills, guys. No, maybe something like that, and then we'll get a break. Something on the lines of that. Encore Energy, we're right at resistance. We're trying to break through it. That's what that big resistance line is. If we look back, this is where it traded a few times. Hit here, hit here, hit here, hit all over the place. We got to break through that. And that's what we're trying to do. You got what I need. We've got this resistance line. We are trying to break through it. Put a little wick at the top there. We're trying, guys. We're trying. URG, not as much resistance, so it's went a little more freely higher. And guys, this pattern here, when we break this line up here, this is a launching pattern. It really is. So I think we've got good momentum, good looking charts. It's looking really good, and we can draw. I could draw it through here as well. Through that, nice good move for UEC, up 3%, still hanging in there. LEU looks really good, and what I'm looking at is let me kind of delete this line here. I'm going to do a little manipulation here if I can grab it. There we go. And what I'm looking at is I really like the way this thing looks. I feel like there's a little bit of resistance through there. That's why we got these wicks through here. We've got nice, good buying pressure underneath here. Big bullish engulfing. This looks like it wants to break. I think we might see a big move out of LEU. This is a company that I added to in the donations portfolio. I doubled down on it in here. And I think we're going to see another stair step higher. And what this is doing is it's stair stepping higher. We look back, we got this resistance line, broke it, and then it ran. We kind of came in here, have another resistance line, broke that. Resistance line, broke that. And now we're doing another resistance line, and we're set up, the buyers are setting up to break through this to the upside. So who am I to say no to this chart that's about to break to the upside? And then just looking at the fractals, I mean, this thing has a long way to run, all the way to its, I would say, a strong resistance line. And we could run up quite dramatically all up through here. So, guys, I'm in it. I added a little bit more to the donations portfolio. This looks really good for a potential buy right where it's at. Not advice, just my opinion. Remember that. LTBR moving on up. Got a little bit of wick at the top. Looks like we're hitting a little bit of sellers up here. Up 7% though, still good. I was a buyer down in this region down here. Everyone on the channel knows that. The reason I like this one is it's got a lot of juice to squeeze. Short squeeze is what I'm talking about. And hopefully we can continue to short squeeze them. ISENF, this is a Canadian exploration company, looking decent. Nice little kind of, it's a hammer pattern, but it doesn't mean as much when they're kind of up here at the top. This does have a bearish engulfing here, so we'll see. It's a fight between the buyers and sellers. We'll see which way this thing breaks. Appia Energy, again, guys, I would be a buyer in this company right here if it were me. We're right at this resistance line. We're going to break and move on up. It looks good. Denison Mines looking good, moving on up 8% today. This is in my donations portfolio. We are at this support resistance line coming through here. Let me grab it and extend it. We're right above we got support right underneath it. Blue Sky Uranium, this does look fine to go higher. Everything looks good. This thing's been stair-stepping higher, so what we have is a low, a higher low, a higher low, a higher low. Everything looks good. We're just coming up to this resistance line, and you can see the distance between these lines are kind of coming together. This distance there, you know, the distance here. What that means is that we're coming up into and compressing against that resistance line, and the lows are not giving up. The buyers are not giving up. This is going to go up here and break and have a big run at some point. Forum Energy Metals, this is an exploration company, down 1.19%. Right here, we're chilling right now. We're chilling. It's looking okay, but we're still above the pattern. Still looks good. Anfield up another 4%. This thing looks great from a long-term perspective. This chart looks absolutely phenomenal down here. Looks phenomenal. Patient investors here could see a massive break when this moves higher. Right now, it's got to shed some sellers before it moves higher. It's got to shed some sellers. Laramide, this one also looks good. Nice, good long bottoming pattern. This is a slingshot pattern. Shing! And then it shoots up, breaks between this, breaks past this resistance, comes on down, consolidates for a little bit, and then we're going to see another rocket launch higher eventually. Not calling for it this second, but eventually. Western Uranium's doing the same thing. It hit its head, kind of took a little detour down here, and it's coming back. It's back in the fight. It's going. It's looking good. UEXCF, this one apparently no one likes their CEO, but maybe if he can pull something out of his behind, this doesn't look bad. This chart does not look bad. It's a solid chart. There's your bottom, your slingshot. It slingshots. It hits some resistance as it goes through here, consolidates, and then breaks again. It's abiding by a very nice pattern. Mega Uranium's got that same nice pattern. It's got a triple bottom, and then we slingshot higher, and just hit some resistance in here. Quite normal. On the daily candlesticks, it looks fantastic for a move higher. It's already broken out. I like it. I like it a lot. ALXEF still doing okay. It's in no man's land down here, pretty cheap. It's a small little explorer. Same with Asian Court. Asian Court is still just moving sideways. So that looks okay. So overall, guys, the uranium sector looks great. A lot of these companies look good. They don't look ultra strong, but you know what? Sprott Uranium Trust does, and URNM does from Kazatomprom. Kazatomprom finished very strong today. The other companies, they're working their way higher. They're working their way higher. We could see this thing rip at any point. When I mean rip, I'm talking like natural gas, coal type rip. It's there. So the way that I'm playing this is I get in, I sit in it, I don't do anything. I'm waiting for the rip, the big one, the tsunami, the jaws of this thing, right? The big jaws in that movie, that big fish. I'm waiting for the big one to come. All right, that's what I'm doing. I'm waiting for the big one. The big rip will come. It's coming. You can see all these commodity companies go up. They're all looking ultra juicy. Uranium's the laggard. That's all it is. And it's the little guy that's going to run. It's just like silver in the energy markets. Silver's the last one to take its run. This guy, it's coming. It's coming. It's the last one to run, and it's probably going to be a big run. And also keep in mind, if we have shortages, and I've gone through shortages of copper, aluminum, and all these other commodities. If we have shortages and they're struggling to build renewable energy, they're going to flick. I think they're going to flick back on their nuclear power plants. Problem is, they need fuel for them. How much physical uranium is just floating around for these things to start back up? Yeah, I think Sprott knows that. That's probably what they're thinking. They're positioning a certain way, those investors, because it's probably coming. That's my guess. Give me a thumbs up for the content. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And thank you for listening. This is Finding Value.